The screen flickered to life. "Hey everyone, we're live!" A man in a Santa hat grinned at his camera, controller in hand, ready to stream hours of Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. It was December 18th, 2022, 1 week before Christmas, and dozens of subscribers tuned in to watch him play. To anyone watching, he was safe at home, joking about his sound levels, sipping soda, and blasting digital criminals across neon streets. But outside of YouTube, in the real world, something very different was happening. While the stream rolled on, while viewers dropped comments he couldn't see, the man on the screen was nowhere near his computer. The broadcast wasn't live. It had been recorded days earlier, set to play automatically, a perfect alibi. Because at that very same moment, in a quiet house in Silverwood Green, a young woman was fighting for her life. Neighbours later recalled hearing a scream at around 9 p.m. Police cameras caught the silhouette of a man entering the neighbourhood, heading directly to her home, as if he already knew where to go. Her name was Natalie McNally. She was 32 years old, 15 weeks pregnant, and that night she was ambushed in her own home, stabbed repeatedly, beaten, strangled. Defensive wounds showed she fought back with everything she had. All the while, the livestream kept running. His voice filled the internet, cheerful and calm as though nothing was wrong, a digital smokescreen for the horror unfolding in the real world, and chillingly, midway through the stream, a message flashed across the screen. No time to die. 3 hours into the live broadcast, the exact moment Natalie was attacked. This was no accident. This was planned. Morning light crept over Lurgan, a small town in Northern Ireland. It was Monday, December 19th. For most people, it was just another work day, but for Natalie McNally's friends and family, something felt immediately wrong. Natalie wasn't answering her phone. She didn't show up for work. No texts, no calls. Silence. This wasn't like her. Not now. Not when she was 15 weeks pregnant with her first child. By evening, worry had turned into panic. That night, her boyfriend, Stephen McCullough, drove the 20 minutes from his home in Lisbon to check on her. At around 10 p.m, he stepped into her house in Silverwood Green. The scene inside was every family's nightmare. Natalie was dead. She had been brutally attacked, stabbed multiple times, strangled, beaten. There were defensive wounds on her arms, proof she had fought to survive. Her unborn son was gone too. Police swarmed the house. The post-mortem confirmed it. Natalie had been murdered the night before, on Sunday, December 18th. The holidays were supposed to be a time of warmth and family. Instead, Lurgan was plunged into grief. And as detectives began piecing together the timeline, one fact became horrifyingly clear. Whoever killed Natalie had known exactly where she lived. This wasn't random. Natalie was 32 years old, born and raised in Lurgan, a town of 30,000 in County Armagh. She studied law at Queen's University Belfast before shifting paths into marketing and management. Clever, ambitious, determined. By 2022, she was working for TransLink, Northern Ireland's public transport company, running campaigns and shaping messages that reached thousands of commuters every day. But her real passions lay outside the office. Natalie loved animals, puzzles and football. Everton on the English side, Armagh in Gaelic. She threw herself into causes too, especially equality, becoming a familiar voice at local campaigns. And then there was family. Always family. Christmas was her season, the time to gather, laugh, exchange gifts, argue about football and fall asleep full of food. That December was even more special. Natalie had been keeping a secret, a quiet joy she planned to share with everyone on Christmas Day. She was pregnant, a baby boy. Her parents already knew. They were overjoyed, counting down the days until she would make the big announcement to the rest of her family and friends. That Christmas dinner would have been unforgettable, the kind people talk about for years, the one where everything changes, but it never came. Because on the night of December 18th, Natalie never made it past her front door alive. Her dreams, her child, her family's future, stolen. And as detectives started combing through evidence, they realised this wasn't just a brutal murder, it was personal. While Natalie's family mourned, another name began surfacing in whispers and police files: Stephen. To the outside world, he was an entertainer, a YouTuber with more than 40,000 subscribers, a man obsessed with pop culture. His channel was a mix of toy reviews, Doctor Who commentary, Star Wars collectibles and podcasts. The kind of guy who could spend hours arguing about lightsabers and action figures. He even worked part-time for the Belfast Telegraph, presenting himself as a voice talent. But beneath the persona, there was something else. Stephen lived just 20 minutes away in Lisbon. He and Natalie had been dating only a few months since August. By December, she was already pregnant with his child. To family and friends, the relationship seemed sudden, maybe even rushed. But no one could have predicted the darkness lurking behind his smiling live streams. Because while his subscribers knew him as a man who could chat endlessly about sci-fi, police were beginning to see something very different. A man with motive, opportunity, and the coldness to build a murder alibi in advance. Stephen wasn't just another boyfriend. He wasn't just another YouTuber. He was about to become the prime suspect in one of Northern Ireland's most chilling Christmas murders. At first, the evidence didn't point anywhere. A young woman murdered in her own home, a boyfriend with a clean alibi. It should have been open and shut, but detectives knew better. They pulled CCTV from Silverwood Green, Natalie's neighbourhood. It was a quiet cul-de-sac. One road in, one road out. On the night of December 18th, cameras caught a man walking into the estate at 8:52 p.m. He headed straight for Natalie's house, as if he already knew the address. 38 minutes later, at 9:30 p.m, the same figure walked out again. Around that exact time, neighbours reported hearing screams. Stephen leaned on his YouTube channel as a shield. He told police he couldn't possibly be the killer. He'd been streaming for hours that very night. But little details didn't sit right. During the live broadcast, Stephen never responded to comments in real time. He brushed it off. The streaming software's kind of messed up. I can't see the chat. Odd. Even odder was a sudden image that popped up midway through the 6-hour stream. No time to die. The timing was chilling. That screen appeared 3 hours into the video, the exact window when police believed Natalie was attacked. It wasn't proof, not yet. But it was enough to raise eyebrows, because what looked like a solid alibi was starting to look more like a carefully crafted cover. Digital forensics stepped in. Experts traced the stream back and discovered something chilling. It wasn't live. It had been recorded 4 days earlier, on December 14th, then scheduled to play on the 18th. On January 31st, police arrested him. The theory, rage, betrayal, and a refusal to face fatherhood pushed him over the edge. He has not yet been convicted.